When I decided to start working on my personal brand for the first time, I was told personal branding was for people that are extroverted, people who are influencers, and all that. And for fact, I knew that was not me because I was not that kind of person. And then there is you who thinks that you have to be a celebrity to be one. What if I told you that some of the biggest myths you've heard about personal branding are actually holding you back from achieving your true potential? And we're going to be diving deep into the psychological part and debunking some of these lies, revealing why your personal brand is very important. Like Jeff Bezos once said, your personal brand is what people say about you even when you are not in the room. So let's talk about some of this personal branding myths and how you can actually move forward from it and start building that brand of yours. So, if you're someone who is about to start your personal brand, you're an introvert and you're afraid that, oh, you don't know what to do or how to start, I think this podcast episode is for you. And even if you've already started and you're just a bit confused or just want to learn more, then stick along. Let's get this started. Hey lovelies, welcome back once again to another episode of the Florrapedia podcast. As always, I am your host, Florabella. And on today's episode is going to be an amazing discussion. But first, if you're a new listener, welcome to Florrapedia podcast. This is a space where we don't just talk, but we try to do things that would build you, shape you, and improve one life at a time. Okay, and for my dear returning subscribers, you already know the drill. This is going to be an amazing one. So grab your popcorn, let's get right into it and start dissecting this whole personal branding myth that people are always talking about and how you can actually become someone who is not just influential, but someone who adds impact to people. So a few years ago, I went for an interview. I used to think that, oh, personal branding is not important until I went for an interview. And the interviewer asked me, do you have a personal brand? I was shocked. I was flabbergasted because I wasn't expecting that question. In my mind, I'm like, what's the business with the job I'm trying to apply for with personal brand? But personal branding is very important because it not just curates a story of who you are online, but also offline. So sometimes people feel like personal branding is just works online and you don't need to. Okay, so I know you might feel like, oh, personal branding is for influencers, it's for celebrities. Do I really need to constantly promote myself? Yes, these are valid questions. I agree. But some of the biggest misconception around building personal brand and is that they tell you it's for influencers, and we're going to debunk some of those myths today. We're going to peel the back layer by layer and uncover some of the psychological truths that will empower you to build a brand that is not just visible but truly authentic and impactful, because your brand is more than just your logo, it's more than just the catchy tagline, and it's more than the aesthetics. Actually, it is bringing light to the world, and whether you like it or not, intentionally or unintentionally, you're building a brand. So let's dive right into that personal brand. If you want to learn about branding, personal branding and business branding, I have an episode that talks more about it. So let's dive right into the myth. Now, the first myth is that personal branding is all about self-promotion. Yeah, they say it's about bragging. Many people shy away from personal branding because they tell them, oh, it makes you look arrogant, it makes you deviate from your humble nature, and it makes you, put out your achievements and seeking validation online. But here's the truth: if your personal brand feels like a pure self promotion, you're doing it all wrong. Truly, an effective personal brand is not really about, the loud trumpets you blow about yourself. You don't even need to blow your own trumpet. Your work shows for itself. Like your work tells your own story. So if perhaps you are constantly sharing things that makes you look like you're making brags, or talking about things that makes you look like you are a boastful person, then you're doing it wrong. You need to start thinking of, what services can I provide? Jeff Bezos once said, a personal brand, or brand actually, is what people say about you even when you're not in the room. So this simply means this is not just about your online presence, but also your offline presence. Think about it for a moment. When you follow someone, are you drawn to them because of what people talk about them, or because of the valuable insights and resources or inspirations and probably entertainment you get from them? I promise you, 80% of the time, the answer is always the latter. And this simply means both online and offline, people will still talk about you. Now, what people talk about you is what your brand is all about. So if you're constantly seeking external validation through your brand, you're missing the point. Shift your focus from "look at me" to "how can I help you?" To "how can I help you transform?" to "what I can do for you." That way, you're simply putting out value. Now, speaking of following people, if you're enjoying this podcast and you've not joined the community, kindly click on the subscribe button and like and share to someone who might actually need this. I would be honored if you join the community so that we can grow together, building one life at a time. So now let's move down to the second myth of all. Now, the second myth of all is that you must be an expert before you start. This one, a lot of aspiring brand builders have limited their own, reach because of this mindset. And I fall under this category of people. I don't necessarily need to have hundreds of followers before I can tell you what will work for you. We can grow along the way, and this is something a lot of people are missing out on. My darling, this is a trap, okay? You do not need to reach the finish line before you share your journey. You can share your journey along the way, build meaningful connections, and also, show your progress, your behind the scene, your struggles. People connect more with such things rather than, coming to tell them, "Oh, I did this, I'm now that." People connect more with the journey than the destination. So that way, a lot of people will be able to resonate with you, and most of them are going to even try to, you don't even know, you might be a source of inspiration to someone out there. Someone might be looking at you and saying, "If this person can do this, I think I can do it too." So don't limit yourself with the mindset that you have to become a professional before you can actually teach people things, do things, or perhaps become a thought leader in any field of your choice. You can start from where you are. Then when you now get to where you want to be, you can always look back and say, "Oh, I remember that time. I remember that time when we..." And then there are people who can resonate with it because they saw you grow. They saw you move from where you are to where you want to be. Right now, this episode, I am definitely going to be coming back to this because currently we are on 21 subscribers. And I am hoping that our YouTube channel is going to grow into thousands and thousands of subscribers before the end of the year. We're going to get there, and I'm not even joking. And on other platforms too, I am hoping that on our Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and the rest, we're going to grow too. So with time, we're getting there, and I cannot do it without you. Okay? Now, in addition to that, there is something called the Pratfall effect in psychology, which states that study shows that people who occasionally make mistakes, shows their vulnerability, and often, show the behind the scene of their work, are perceived more likable and relatable than those who appear flawless, because we all know that no one is perfect. So show your learning curve, your challenges, and your growth, because this can be an incredibly powerful strategy to help you make more connection with people outside there and become more relatable. Like Emmanuel Anwigwe once said, authenticity is the most attractive brand strategy you would ever wear, because it is something that you can never run out of. You cannot run out of your own authenticity. How do you run out from being yourself, like unashamedly you, without copying anybody, without trying to sound like anyone, without trying to do too much, just enjoying and relishing in your own moments? It is beautiful, like honestly. And that is one of the things we're trying to grow here, trying to build more authentic individuals. So don't be afraid to bring your unique perspective to the game, because that is your superpower. And even if you're still figuring it out, even if you're still trying to figure things out, you will be fine at the end of the day. Now, the third myth is that branding is for only extroverts or influencers. Now, this myth is particularly disheartening for me, because I know that my fellow introverts and quiet achievers out there feels this way too. And this has been stopping a whole lot of people, because I'm sure this has stopped me. And I know there are people like me who feel this way. Now, while extroverted people or extroverts might naturally gravitate towards building brands, building loud brands and all that, and making waves, especially on social media, introverts often build some of the most profound and most beautiful quiet brand. Those ones that, that doesn't need the noise to show themselves. This is because introverts are meticulous researchers, active and excellent listeners, and they create content or create things from a place of depth and a place of reasoning. This can be a superpower because it allows them to create content and build connections, that is rich in value, meaning, and strength. Like Mahatma Gandhi once said, gently you will shake the world. And his brand was not built on noise, but it was built on the unwavering principle of consistent, quiet action. And I think you can do this too. Your strength does not lie in building loud noise. Your strength lies in building something unique, something that is truly you. And yes, that's what we're doing here, okay? So make sure that you shut down the noise and do you. Do you, because your personality is your greatest asset. And whether you're introvert or extrovert, just be you. Now, the fourth myth I've heard is that you have to have millions of followers before you can have a brand. You have to have a significant amount of followers. We get caught up in the vanity matrix, right? Because we feel like because you have 10,000 followers, that means you have quality. We mistake quantity for quality. But let me tell you this, my lovelies, impact always triumphs more than reach. Now, would you rather have 10,000 followers who are just passive followers, who barely notice your existence, who barely even do anything, interact or engage with your content, or just 100 followers who would actually actively follow your work, actively like and actively want to engage with you? I'm guessing your answer is definitely the latter, because obviously you want connection rather than just noise. All those facade of, oh, I have plenty followers, even though they can seem nice, because of course they make you look like an authentic thought leader, but in as much as you have plenty followers, if you do not have genuine interest or interested people who love your work, who would want to talk about your work anytime, any day, then it's a waste of time. So rather than focusing on numbers, focus on serving your purpose, building genuine relationship, creating meaningful impact, and the right kind of growth will follow. Okay, so the fifth one, I love this one because this is something a lot of people do. A lot of influencers, you see them, two-faced people. I call it the Max myth, right? A lot of people say your brand is your persona, meaning you have to become the same person you are, whatever you do, yada yada yada, And this makes it very difficult for people to actually genuinely be themselves. You see someone online is someone totally different. Maybe someone subtle, someone calm, someone cheerful, but physically, there's something else. And the psychological toll of maintaining a facade is immense, leading to burnout, anxiety, profound sense of inauthenticity, and this is where cognitive dissonance comes into play. And the mental discomfort this actually brings, it's a period where someone holds a contradictory belief or idea that contradicts their real belief, right? And you're not going to survive or thrive in such conflict. True brand comes from being your true self rather than amplifying what you're not, rather than trying to put up an image that you think people would like or people would accept. Socrates once said, the greatest way to live is to live with honor in a world where people pretend to be. So the greatest way to actually live is to live as the way you pretend to be, right? Be more concerned with your character rather than your reputation. And this is truly who you are. Your character is truly who you are. Reputation is merely what people perceive. An authentic brand is like, it aligns both of them rather than contradicting, the two of them. There is no thin line between your brand and real life. Let's just say they are one, okay? So try to be real and authentic. Now, I know we've unpacked all this and you kind of feel confused, but let's dive down into the solutions on how you can actually get through all this, because I struggled with it for a while, and here are the few things I did. First off, before you post, make sure you ask yourself this question, this crucial question. Does this help my audience? Shift your mindset from what can I get to what can I give. And when you do this simple audit, you move your content from a self-serving content to a genuinely valuable and consistently provide value to your audience. So this way, you're not going to always talk about you. Once in a while on this podcast, I talk about me, right? But I don't dwell on talking about me because it is not really about me. It's about the community. So instead of trying to always putting out yourself there, try to, put out things that will help others. Second of all is to make sure that you showcase your challenges, your win, and every of your journey. Invite others to connect with you. I did an episode one time like that where I talked about the struggles of successful women. You can go listen to it. In that episode, I shared my own problems and I really ranted. I talked about so many things that was going through my head personally, and some of the things I was having issues with, especially in terms of creating content, staying consistent, and being the best version. Another thing I want you to do is, they tell you to box yourself down into a niche. I don't want you to box yourself down. Don't try to build a fan base. Rather, build a loyal community where these people genuinely understand who you are and want to share part in your journey or in your race. So rather than niching down, today you can hear me talk about personal brand. Tomorrow you can hear me talk about relationship. Next tomorrow you will hear me talk about one latest gist or the other. This is simply what works for me, and I do not intend to niche down completely. Maybe as time goes on, I can focus on more topics that resonate with my audience, but that does not mean I'm going to box myself into a small space. I'm going to let my wings fly and, just flow with the rhythm. Now, another thing I need you to do is to build constant momentum, trust, and brand loyalty. Always show up regardless, irrespective of when you're tired or not. Last but not the least, perhaps the most important solution of all, ditch the mask. Please, stop living a facade. Whoever you are online doesn't necessarily need to be who you are physical, but at the same time, let it not feel like a contrast. Let it not feel like you're a different person entirely. Not saying you should bring your personal life into your branding, but try to remain as authentic as possible. You will attract people who will resonate with your true self, leading to a more meaningful connection and a brand that feels empowering rather than exhausting. Embrace your unique story because no one can tell it like you will. I promise you that. When I first started this podcast on video platform, now for my audio listeners, we're currently on YouTube in case you want to see the face behind the camera. And then, yes, when I started newly, I was so shy. I felt like, can I do this? I was seriously contemplating a lot of things and I was not consistent at all. But now I feel much better. Like I can literally batch shoot a lot of content and I will not even feel exhausted because I am just unashamedly doing me. It does not matter how small we are now. I know we're building, to get to that point where we'll be. We're just trying to lay the foundation right now. And I am super grateful to every single person who has been helping me lay the groundwork and who has consistently engaged and followed us till this moment. I am super grateful. I do not take it for granted. So guys, with that being said, we've talked about personal branding myths and some of the solutions you can do to fix it. Okay, so guys, there you have it. Building a personal brand is truly a beautiful journey of self-discovery, value, and creating authentic connection. It's about understanding your unique voice and your own perspective to things, and it is your greatest asset. So, by debunking this myth, I think you will be able to step into your power zone and build something truly unique and resonate with people like you. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode of the Florrapedia podcast. I hope this resonated with you. Please share it to a friend who might be struggling with building their personal brand. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a review. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you think and let us know your thoughts. Until next time, keep shining your authentic light, keep building your purpose, and always remember your self-worth. Stay beautiful, stay blessed, and keep improving one life at a time. Until we see you again on our next episode of the Florrapedia podcast. Signing out. Catch ya. Bye.